Good evening. I'm Dave Karger. Thanks for joining me here on TCM for day 18 of 31 Days of Oscar. Tonight, our theme is Oscar Goes a Few Rounds. And up next, we continue our lineup of Oscar-winning and nominated boxing dramas with a movie that gave Humphrey Bogart his final film role. From Columbia Pictures in 1956, it's The Harder They Fall. This is a tense film noir that stars Bogart as a sports writer who's fallen on hard times and is forced to accept a job working for the mob. He compromises his ethics by helping his corrupt boss, played by Rod Steiger, build up the hopes and career of a young boxer without letting on to the fact that the mob is secretly fixing his fights. The movie was adapted from a novel by Bud Schulberg that may have been inspired by the heavyweight champion Primo Carnera, whose career was actually manipulated by the mob. Schulberg had just written another powerful story about mob corruption that also featured Rod Steiger, the 1954 classic On the Waterfront, which won Schulberg an Academy Award. The Harder They Fall was scripted by Philip Jordan and directed by Mark Robeson, who got his start in Hollywood working as an editor on several films, including uncredited work as an assistant on Citizen Kane. On that picture, he worked alongside editor Robert Wise, and both Wise and Robeson soon became prominent directors. In 1956, the same year The Harder They Fall was released, Robert Wise also directed a prestigious boxing drama, Somebody Up There Likes Me, starring Paul Newman. The Harder They Fall was nominated for just one Oscar for Burnett Guffey's cinematography, but in that category, the award went instead to Joseph Ruttenberg for his work on Somebody Up There Likes Me. From 1956, also with Jan Sterling and Mike Lane, here is The Harder They Fall. The Harder They Fall sadly turned out to be the last film Humphrey Bogart ever made. Shortly after production wrapped, he was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and he passed away less than a year after the film premiered. As I mentioned before the movie, this drama was adapted from a novel by Bud Schulberg, which was published nearly a decade earlier in 1947. Producer Jerry Wald originally asked Schulberg to adapt his own work for the screen, but Schulberg declined, stating that he had no interest in making a film for Columbia studio boss Harry Cohn, a man who had abused and degraded his father, B.P. Schulberg, when he worked for Cohn as a producer. Ultimately, Bud Schulberg came around to the idea of writing the screenplay on the condition that he never had to set foot on the Columbia lot. Harry Cohn refused to entertain that idea, and in the end, both Schulberg and producer Jerry Wald were replaced by writer-producer Philip Jordan. Up next, Stacy Keach and Jeff Bridges star in a 1972 boxing drama directed by one of Humphrey Bogart's favorite filmmakers, John Huston. Don't go away.
Next on TCM, Fat City, then Champion, and later Golden Boy. Oscar packs a wallop tonight.